Welcome back to the Authority on Wrestling podcast. Officially, is this 13 now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on 13. Look, I was doing good for a while and had to check with you.
Yeah,
and now we're back with episode 13. It was that week off. We took a week hiatus, restructure a little bit. So, just to give anybody who is listening a heads up, the way the show is going to go for at least a few months, probably up until Mania season, is we're going to do a week of general discussion, and the following week will be recap and reaction, essentially. So we're going to slow down on the recap and reaction because we think it's just getting redundant, and then right now it's a slow time of year, so there's not a lot going on. So we'll be doing that. Anyway, so today is our first episode of our new format that will be alternating every other week. And so welcome back. And so there's just a few things we wanted to talk about today. Number one, we had Brock Lesnar win the Universal Championship at Mania.
Oh, yeah, that's right, too.
Which was, don't forget. Cause
almost forgot.
Yeah, you almost forgot about it, but it did happen. So Brock Lesnar won the Universal title. So once again, we have a part-time champion. Last time it was done was probably when Lesnar won. Oh, no. Technically Goldberg.
Yeah. Yeah, but he
was like a month.
He did show up a bunch. He just didn't necessarily defend it or have any matches in between. Like,
yeah, we can discount Goldberg.
But he was at least on the vast majority of the shows. So I mean, he has that going for him.
Yeah. So this is the second time it's been done in recent years. I think the time before that was The Brock when he had it.
Yeah.
But so.
But typical of Brock.
Yeah, even Lesnar held it last year. For
Lesnar,
2 years. 2 years ago.
It was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So. It was like I think like a 6-7 month run he had with it. So, but going off of that, does the belt need to be on every show?
No.
No. I don't think it needs to be on every show. I think that the problem that I'm encountering right now with the situation is they're not even really talking about it. They're not even really addressing...
Yeah, there's not even addressing.
They haven't really even talked about the Universal Champion Lesnar. Now, I feel like him being away, and I feel like if the less you see of a champion, the more kind of important it does when he shows up. But for that to take place, they need to talk about him and pump him up like he is something to behold. And I feel like they haven't done any of that lately.
I know. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, put him on a pedestal in one sense or another, and make you have to remember just how monumental he is.
Yeah.
In the meantime, and then when he shows up, it builds him up or something. I mean, it's the surprise factor of like, oh, holy crap! Here's Brock Lesnar. We haven't seen him since Mania.
Yeah.
And then what's their reasoning for that? They're probably not even going to address it at that point when there's commentary being, you know, with him showing back up to the product.
Yeah, because normally when you have a world champion, he's out there doing marketing or he's doing press and getting his face out there. And Paul Heyman's not doing it for him. Lesnar's not doing it for him. They're not doing any interviews on the radio or anything, and they're kind of just.
I can't even think that there's been any mention of him since Mania. Really, I mean, they haven't done anything, because right now they're not really doing anything with most of the belts on Raw. Because the IC belt came over and they're basically rehashing the Ambrose Miz feud from SmackDown.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say all right, well, fine that they're not having their world champion on Raw. At least that will give the secondary belt a chance to shine. And it's not.
I guess the tags are the only thing they're doing anything with.
Yeah, and they're just having the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro in a bunch of singles matches the last 2 weeks. I think that's what they've done.
Yep. Yeah, because Mike hasn't watched.
And no, I did actually see that. They teased the Cesaro kind of heel turn, Cesaro and Sheamus heel turn.
Actually, I don't think that's going that direction.
You don't think so?
No, because it's too obvious, number one. Yeah. And number two, Matt Hardy switched over his Twitter account to confuse Matt Hardy, and he said that the voices were speaking to him again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and WWE's been trying to cut some deal with TNA regarding the... the broken characters.
It was just a matter of time. That's why they were able to kind of do the previews here and there.
But that being said, don't you think that those guys would be the faces, and then they could do the Sheamus Cesaro heel turn still?
I don't know if they're going to be heels, but yeah,
they could. But I honestly do think they're taking this risk right now to display that they're both really passionate competitors, but they're also good sports. And I like the fact that you have the faces, right, of Sheamus and Cesaro, emphasis on Cesaro.
Actually, Cesaro looked more heel at the end of that match
but
than...
we're saying you get those guys kind of being able to be like, hey, what's up, Hardys? We know that you guys ran this joint for a while in this division. It's quite an honor to be doing this with you. Whoever thought that we would be in the same ring together and being able to face this is pretty cool. I think it's really like it's a good way to establish that both teams are faces, and it's cool. We could do this for the quest for gold, or you know,
the expedition of gold.
Yeah, the expedition. You know,
yeah.
I'm sorry, the expedition.
Yeah, you got it.
And I just think it's a good way to show that it's cool. It's all for some bragging rights and the gold, and it's all good. It's not like we have to be fucking, you know, I'm turning my back on you, or, you know, I'm the bad guy, and I don't care if you're a good guy. You know, that kind of thing. That goes out the window. You get to... They both remain faces, and it shows... I like the respect. I like the whole, like... yes, it's overdone sometimes, like NXT or something else.
Oh, Cruiserweight's terrible.
Yeah.
With the fucking handshake. Why do they check? I think they stopped doing it on Raw.
It's the MMA thing where it's mixed martial arts.
It's I think they took it off from Ring of Honor.
It's like a sign of respect and good competitive.
But it doesn't make sense contextually because they only do it for the cruiserweights. Like, remember when they were checking their hands and stuff? Yeah. Like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but if you're not going to do it for everything, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of null and void.
Sure.
But
I wish they would just get rid of the purple ropes and everything for the cruiserweights and just make them part of the show.
Yeah, it feels segregated.
Yep.
Is the issue. But with the Hardys, though, I think they've left it open since they came back because they've allowed him to tease that stuff, and I don't think they would allow him to tease it if they didn't think there was the potential the characters coming. You know, like, Vince is so stringent on... I mean, fuck Vince. WWE is so stringent on everything, on how it's presented and stuff. Like, I read a report this weekend that they're mad at Rusev because he cut his hair.
Yeah. You mentioned that a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I was reading that.
So, you know, I don't think they would allow him to do the occasional delete chant and the yes! if there wasn't the potential of that. And... they're doing the shirts say "Reborn by Fate."
Oh, does it?
On them, so it kind of leaves it open a little bit.
In my opinion, I don't think Vince even would have gone for the Hardys again hadn't the broken gimmick been so wildly popular. I think there's obviously respect, and they maybe like a Legends contract, whatever it is for those guys, but not necessarily demand for them. He went out of his way to really want them aboard his company again. And being, you know, in the main picture again because of that wildly popular broken gimmick. And he himself, through years and years and years of practice, I guess you can call it, of lawsuits and this, that, and the other thing, he knows that he's going to win. If he wants the Hardys to have the broken gimmick and they want it too, he will get it. It's just a matter of time. And you got to wait it out properly. You got to play got to play the game for a little while, but it will be his. You know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, there was no question that this is going to happen. And like you said, they kept on kind of doing little sneak peeks of the broken gimmick, but not blatantly.
Well, we went to the live event. Was that 2 weeks ago now, or was that a week ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yep. Oh, it was 2 weeks? Shit.
Yeah, we didn't do
so we went to the live event, and he was basically full broken Matt Hardy.
Really?
Basically.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, tons of delete chants.
Right. When there's no film being profited off of, I guess.
Yeah.
Then I guess he
did the entrance. He did this
more
when
or less.
He came out.
Yeah, more or less, he's allowed to be way more open with his broken gimmick.
Yeah.
Than like on TV. So there's copyright issues right there for TV taping and shit like that. They're staying clear of that when it comes to TV. Because you don't want to further the complications of getting the hands.
Well, they might already have it.
It will be there.
You might see it this Sunday.
Sure. That's a good point.
I mean, the way it's being teased and stuff,
point.
you might see it.
And I guarantee you, in signing them, I wouldn't doubt Vince having that conversation with Matt. Like, listen, dude, you could do a couple things here and there. Please play it safe. And what I say goes, kind of thing. You could do it here. You could do it there. You could do this if you want. You could do that if you want. these are the don'ts.
Yeah.
And but trust me, you will have full freedom to be your broken Matt Hardy sooner than later. Just hold tight for me right now.
I wonder how different it's going to be in WWE now, because in TNA he had full creative control of the character.
Sure.
Nobody in WWE really has full creative control of their character. I don't even think John Cena has complete creative control. I think
he's got enough.
He's
I would
got enough
say
to do something.
he's got at least 95% of his promos.
No, they
and all that
do
stuff.
have a lot of freedom as far as making something, trying to make something work, and WWE would give it a chance.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, I
But
understand
not
that.
necessarily completely dictating what's going to happen with their character.
But part of the appeal of the Broken Hardys was like the whole style of the way they filmed the things,
Sure.
the final
I
deletion.
think you're going to
matches.
see some of that on Sunday, though, with this House of Horrors match.
You think so?
Because from what I'm reading, it's going to be partially a pre-tape segment.
Okay.
So I think they're going to try to tap into... I know that doesn't involve the Hardys, but I think they're going to try to tap into
They have
something
been doing that
similar to
recently.
that.
Well, they
Yeah,
did
for
it with
sure.
the Wyatt compound match when the
Yeah,
New Day showed up.
and I think this might be similar to that. It's not something that's going to be difficult for them to do. I mean,
No.
it wasn't. Look, the thing about the broken gimmick, it wasn't well executed. That's what made it. With regards to like the production value wasn't great. The story didn't really make a ton of sense. Like he became broken because he took like an a swanton.
He took a swanton
and
and a really
it
tall
broke
ladder.
him. That's
Yeah.
what happened. But so I don't think it's something that would be difficult for WWE to pull off, because it's not. It doesn't require extreme care or
Sure.
anything like that. I mean, the deletion
most of the parts
specials
are
were
there.
kind of shit. Yeah.
Right.
And it's nothing to prevent them from going to Matt Hardy's house and shooting on like a weekend or something.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
to do that to pull it off.
I'm intrigued as to see how they do, in fact, decide to introduce Broken.
I think people have higher hopes than what I. Maybe I have low hopes. I just feel like they're not going to be able. Like, what made the Hardys being broken special was like the B style of everything they did. Like everything was kind of. It wasn't like it was like a B horror movie or something.
Sure.
It was very cheesy and corny, and I don't think WWE will allow that.
There
And
was
and-
like a whimsical sense to it, rather than.
Yeah, and I feel like in not allowing that, people are gonna be disappointed with what it is. Cause like
So you're basically saying that you think, more or less, WWE their interpretation of it won't go over as well as TNA's version, because the innocence and low production,
Yeah.
whatever we may call it,
yeah.
of TNA's version, kind of made you fall in love with it rather than expect a huge production.
Yeah.
It might not be the exact same presentation too. They could tweak it.
Sure.
Because in my mind, the Broken Hardys without that stuff is just another comedy gimmick, and I don't think it's that impressive to me. Like I liked the Broken Matt Hardy stuff, but I liked it for the uniqueness and the originality of it. I didn't like it for. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna lose something in WWE.
But,
As a lot of things do.
Yeah,
A lot of things do.
but coming back to center,
And that's just the nature of being the main show. With it, how many viewers and such.
That's true.
But coming back to center on the utilization of not just belts but pieces in WWE, because they collect a lot of talent they acquire a lot of talent and whatnot. They introduced the UK belt, which is actually going to be defended tonight on NXT.
Yep.
Really?
But
Yeah,
it's weird. It's
Jack
weird.
Gallagher.
Yeah, Gallagher versus Bate, but it's weird because with a belt like that, for instance, let's use that one as an example. What realm does it really exist in?
I think he has been.
He's been on NXT occasionally.
In the UK, he's been on some indie shows and stuff like that, like where he normally wrestles.
But yeah, it just doesn't make sense that because I remember reading that they were going to give those guys their own show.
Yep, that was a
Nothing's
while
been
ago.
said about that, and
I'd imagine so much of this stuff is like trial run,
Yeah,
where you can't just fully invest in the entire longevity of a project.
but then why announce
so,
it?
So give it a preview, see how it's digested, And unfortunately, it may take a while.
They could have had a tournament without a belt at the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could have
Sure.
just done like a trophy thing and made it a little bit simpler. But once you add a belt to it, the expectation becomes this thing needs to be utilized. It needs to be on TV as another set piece. And it really, I mean, like, yeah, you can throw him on NXT once in a while, but it feels kind of shoehorned because Gallagher's in the Cruiserweight division. I highly doubt that there's a chance that he wins tonight.
Right.
So it just feels like, oh, well, Gallagher's from the UK, and, you're from, like we got NXT, let's just throw you on there.
It would be a cool matchup, for sure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to it, but I get what you're saying as far as, like, what... It's almost like, why does any of this matter? Where's the continuity? Why is this something that I really want to be invested in? And
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I also feel like just in general, they have a lot of different things like that. Like they have the women's tournament coming up. They've been doing a lot of focus on NXT, and NXT never really disappoints on their takeover specials, but they're going through like trying to develop a lot of new talent.
Well, because they got purged a little bit, yeah.
But now SmackDown and Raw have all these guys. I feel like they have their hands in too many things, and I feel like nothing's really getting the proper attention except for maybe one or two small things. Like Braun Strowman, they're doing a good job with. But I feel like if at Payback, if he loses to Roman Reigns, then that's all for naught.
Yeah, well, we can talk about him more next week. Cause
Yeah.
I think it's well known that we're all big Strowman fans
Yeah.
here. So
No,
I think once we see what the outcome of Payback is, we'll have a little bit more to go off of. But yeah,
I got a quick question. Is 205 Live, when that got that start on the network, how long after the Cruiserweight tournament was the premiere of 205 Live?
No, 205 Live was a little bit after because they
months.
brought him to Raw
Couple
first.
months?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like 2 months, 3 months. Not
So
too
it's
long.
been significantly longer than that from
Yeah.
Yes.
the UK tournament.
Yes.
yeah, because the UK tournament happened around the first episode that we did, which is about 3 months ago now.
Yeah.
So actually longer, probably. It's probably almost closer to 4.
And it was
Yeah,
said, it
yeah.
was said early on that 205 Live would be a thing, or a Cruiserweight show would be a thing following the...
I think they announced the UK tournament before they announced the Cruiserweight. Because,
Really?
like, not in, like, timeline-wise.
I know exactly what you're
But
saying.
in comparison to when the Cruiserweight tournament was,
Sure.
they didn't even announce a belt until, like, the week before.
Mm.
And then they did it on that last show, and then they were like, oh, we'll bring them to Raw. And then after they were on Raw for, like, a month or two, they were like, oh, we'll get their own show.
Mm.
And then,
Which is after SmackDown.
yeah. I do want to talk about, I don't know if you guys know too much about this guy, but there is an unsung hero floating around WWE right now. And I was...
There's a
Oh, is
lot
this
of
a
them.
Chinese guy?
No, only
There's a lot of
Lorcan.
them.
This
Oh, from
dude,
Boston? I saw him at the NXT event.
this
at
guy
URI.
is literally the only guy I've seen on every show now. He's been on Raw, he's been on SmackDown, he's been on 205 Live, and he's been on NXT. He had like an insane winning streak, and nobody was really talking about it. Like he had a match like 2 months ago against Ty Dillinger, and everyone thought it was just a jobber and only beat him. Only
Really?
beat Ty Dillinger. Yeah, and like he had a match on 205 Live, and he beat I think Rich Swann. And he had a match against Tony Nese, I believe. And then he had a match on SmackDown, but he lost on SmackDown to someone. But yeah, like this guy. Yeah, this guy, I feel like he's a very generic looking dude. He just wears like black tights, black knee pads. He's got like a shaved head, like a hairy chest. Like he's hard hitting dude.
He's from Boston.
Absolutely, he is from Boston. Yeah, but he's a great wrestler. He had one of my favorite NXT matches against Tommaso Ciampa. Like it was just nobody paid attention. Like 5-minute match, but it was great.
But a brilliant match.
And I think he has a lot of potential if just handled right. But like nobody's talking about him.
Do they
for some
plan on
reason.
using him in any kind of sense? Or
I don't know.
I mean, more than what
I
they
feel
have?
like he's like their trick up the sleeve. Like I feel like he's been on shows and he's got a name for himself, kind of, but nobody's really talking about him that I know of.
He was good when I saw him in NXT, but like
Yeah.
there was no
There's no hype.
defined character. He just kind of he was just a wrestler.
So
He came out.
He's lacking that it factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a Cesaro vibe to him. I
He
mean,
does,
quite
but man,
frankly.
I think
Yeah.
given the potential, and he's not bad on the mic. I think I've seen him do 1 or 2 interviews on NXT. But yeah, it's just weird to me that he's one of the few people besides maybe Jack Gallagher who's bad
I
on the
think
mic.
he faced Andrade.
St. Almas, yeah.
Yeah, who's actually
He had
at
a
that
really
point-
good match against him, yeah.
Yeah, at that point he was going by like Manny
Yep.
Andrade, because he hadn't debuted on television yet.
Yep, he beat him at the house show I went to.
It was like a year ago. It was it was around this time last year.
Yep.
So
That's when Joe won the belt.
it was. That was in Lowell.
That
was in Lowell. We know you were there.
I'll talk about it every time I get a chance.
Hey, just to kind of go off of the too many things going on at once.
Yeah.
Sometimes they let some things go and things fall by the wayside. I'm glad that they haven't let go of Table for Three.
Yeah.
Have you guys?
that
that
was.
I'm a big fan.
That
of
was
it.
a
Shawn
great
Michaels and Andy
special,
Styles?
but it was extremely
That's the newest
awkward.
one, right? Haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it was the new one was good, but it was extremely awkward at the same time because basically the way they had set it up was Nash is, you know how there's always like one person that moderates it.
Yeah.
It's usually the person in the middle, and then the two people on the end
Go back and
talk.
forth with stories.
Yeah, so Nash was like supposed to moderate it, which he just did the Kevin Nash thing and sat there more or less. But it became like Nash basically just brings up how Shawn Michaels had a chance to wrestle AJ, and then it's Shawn Michaels basically trying to explain to AJ like, I really like you, man. It's not that I don't want to wrestle you, but like, you know, I'm just done. And it was kind of
there, and
it was it was
career.
cool, but it was awkward at the same time because it became like most of the episode was him just trying to justify like
It's weird, yeah.
like why he was done.
It's obviously this like obligation floating around in that, and like, as a completely.
Yeah.
You know, for both parties, and that's probably not something they really care to talk about too much. It's something that's like more of a business deal, and I get the whole like it's candid, you know, like get the inside scoop here first, you know, kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like I want to hear some like what they usually do, some cool funny stories of the road, or like some of their psychology in the ring, or you know things like that. I don't want to hear.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Business deals.
Like I thought it was good, but
No,
like,
there was definitely an awkwardness to
but
it. And
like AJ Styles definitely was trying to be like
too much to me.
AJ Styles definitely tried to be like, yeah, you know, man, I understand.
Yeah.
But you could see he was kind of let down that like Shawn wouldn't do it, like you know,
Yeah,
couldn't come out of
of course.
retirement for him.
course.
So it was just it was odd. I enjoyed it.
Why is Nash
but-
getting another one? Like
he had the one with Scott Hall and X-Pac. Right?
exactly, yeah. That one.
Shawn Michaels was on one also before that. Yep. He was.
Oh, wasn't you know who else was it the cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was too.
The cat?
The Jerry Lawler's ex-wife.
Oh shit! I haven't
She was
caught
always
up.
Wonder Blaze or Medusa. What was her name? And someone else.
Was it Molly Holly?
Yeah, that doesn't sound interesting at all.
That wasn't
I
bad.
think that episode sounds.
It actually was better than you'd think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd be
In my
surprised.
opinion, yeah. I enjoyed it.
I like the
Kinda
Vader
weird.
DDP Sting one.
Yeah,
That
cool.
one was a good one.
Dude, I really liked the one where Daniel Bryan and I forgot who the other person was, but they were just making fun of Ryback the whole time, and Ryback was there, and they were just like talking about how he was trying to take like, what's like the fucking old man boner pill? Is it Cialis or something like that?
Yeah.
He took like 3 Cialis to try to impress Brock Lesnar or something. Dude, they're just savages to him on that episode, but it's really funny.
So anyways, speaking of that I'm glad that show continues. Like what brought that to my attention is the fact that they just had that new episode following Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
I believe,
Yeah.
which obviously at that point in time is too late for my old ass. But
I have a
I
question
haven't
going.
caught up to it yet.
I have a question going back to the title thing. So they're having a House of Horrors match at Payback this Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, so the
Is
title,
that not for the title?
The title's been like inexplicably removed from the equation with regards to promotion and
Okay.
stuff, which is odd because like I think did Wyatt mention something about it on Raw this week? I can't remember if he did or not. I kind of
who else
space out
is like,
during
I'll get my
promo sometimes.
rematch when the time is right? Someone said that. Like,
Really?
I think it was Kevin Owens, wasn't it? When it was like, I'm not going to go for that belt.
Oh, Kevin Owens said that when he lost it to Goldberg.
Right.
He said, yeah.
Oh wait, that's an interesting concept because Kevin Owens is now on SmackDown. So does his rematch clause apply for the SmackDown Championship?
I don't know what WWE is doing right now.
Yeah.
I really don't. And like I said, full disclosure, I haven't watched the entire product. I kept up on it.
Well, here's the thing too. Like, there's a lot of inconsistency right now. So like,
Especially because it's draft time.
yeah, Monday night they have Finn Balor come out and once again team with Seth Rollins, which doesn't make sense. And then he's on a 3-man tag team that's going up against Gallows and Anderson, which doesn't make any sense because they've suggested multiple times previously
That guy was
they're friends with him. So like, why would he go up against them?
No, it was a 6-man tag. You said, right?
6-man tag. It was them and Joe.
At that point, did Finn Balor ever attack either of them, like in that match?
Yeah. He was up against them a couple of times during the match.
I was gonna say because if I don't know, man, I really don't know what WWE.
Yeah,
is
it's
doing.
like it's like a mixed bag of like crossed paths of.
It has completely lost me.
storylines
I don't understand what's going on with their titles. I don't understand like Kevin Owens has a chance for a rematch. Randy Orton has no number one contender on his show, does he? On SmackDown, there's no.
Jinder Mahal.
Oh yes, he just won. That's actually intriguing to me. That's actually intriguing to me.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you said
Last time we talked about Jinder Mahal in this podcast, we were talking about how terrible he was for hurting Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
We were all
hurting.
no, not Seth, Finn Balor.
Yeah, correct.
Concussed man.
Yeah, he's doing okay, but yeah, Jinder Mahal, that stiff motherfucker. He's holding his own, and he's doing good right now, and he's getting some serious heel heat.
Yeah.
And I think it's beyond people being like, "Boo, I'm bored with this guy. Why are you giving this guy the chance?" I think that's we're moseying a little bit from that into the territory of this guy is actually a good.
He's a Bollywood boy.
He's a good heel that like your casual fan that's like at a live event or something like that is just like screw this guy. You know.
I think that any fan that is always complaining about predictability and we wanting something new
and then bitches about Jinder Mahal.
Not complain about Jinder Mahal ever.
Right.
Well, you know what's cool right now? On
It's intriguing.
SmackDown, they're pushing him, and they kind of gave him a little faction with the Bollywood boys, but then also they rebranded the Shining Stars into the Colognes now.
Yeah.
They dropped the timeshare gimmick. I actually loved. I was a big fan of the timeshare gimmick.
Ridiculous.
Why?
But this coming from the guy who likes the fashion police.
Oh, you like the fashion police?
I love them.
Oh
okay.
my goodness.
So here's the thing. Not necessarily. I'm not in love
They
with
won,
gimmick.
right? They're
Yes.
number one contenders now, yeah?
I'm so pumped. So, I'm not necessarily the gimmick am I in love with, right? But you can't deny the charisma and skill set of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. They're both fantastic singles competitors, and they have an awesome chemistry working right now as a tag team. And I mean, as really goofy and out there as their gimmick is, it's working for them.
Yeah.
You know, not many could pull that off or be likable. You know, people just immediately hate them if that was like somebody else playing that kind of role. Right?
Oh, no, yeah, I
There's a
agree.
good chance. But those guys are just two funny, likable guys that are actually really good at their craft in ring and out of ring. I want to see them get more mic time. I want to see them maybe a little bit have some skits behind stage or something like that. You know,
They were doing some skits backstage a couple months ago. Yeah.
but they're just, what I'm saying is like they're just full of charisma.
Yeah.
And I personally, Ran, I really want to see them as singles competitors in at least a mid-card push. Being in the running for a belt at some point in time. They are that good at what they do that they might even be so liked in the mid-card push that they go even further. In my personal opinion, that's how I see Fandango.
Tyler Breeze was getting way over in NXT before he moved up.
Correct.
But I think there's such a harsh transition from NXT to main roster sometimes.
It is. Especially gimmicks go.
Yeah.
The smaller environment cult like following typically really can get behind something that's out of the box, and then you bring it or something or even corny.
I think
corny.
Bailey
We has a little
transitioned well
small
with like
community
corny
love
kind
this
of
corny
gimmick.
thing, and then you get it on the big platform, and it's kind of like you swallow it whole. It just doesn't really work. Case in point, like I think you guys were talking not too long ago about Enzo and Cass.
Yeah.
And how it's getting stale now, but the thing is, they were used so infrequently in NXT that it really worked for them.
Yeah, but I think it's getting stale to us.
Yeah.
I don't think it's stale.
Not to generals.
I don't think it's stale on a mass appeal
generals,
level because we were at that live event 2 weeks ago, and
Huge pop.
I mean I saw probably like 80 Enzo wigs, if not more, and like everybody's in their freaking shirts and stuff. So it's stale to us.
Everyone still wants to sing it.
I will say the one thing that's not stale to me, but it seems to be to everybody else, James Ellsworth. I love that dude. Like Last night on SmackDown, they go up, they form, I guess, this little like women's attack group faction thing, and they're all standing in the ring looking all hard and stuff, and he's just,
Natty and Carmella.
he's sitting there like he thinks he's a boss at the end of it.
And he'll like have the punchline to like something, and then like you ruined it, Ellsworth. You know, he just has that like, I'm cool, right? Kind of like demeanor, like. Hilarious.
I don't know how anybody can like fault that guy. Like he's taken what they've given him and he's run with it.
Yeah,
like
I'm just glad he's not like competing anymore or beating world champions.
Absolutely.
That's cool that that's not happening anymore.
Did you guys see what they did with Baron Corbin on Talking Smack?
Yeah, suspended him, right?
Yeah. He got into an argument with, he got into a fight with Sami Zayn, pushed him down and everything, and then a ref tried to break it up, and he I don't know if he hit him or pushed him or something, but they're treating that as a real storyline thing, and they're saying like, oh, don't ever put your hands on official. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon released like statements saying like he's suspended for a week and stuff like that. And people are saying like he's getting the push.
He's gotten the most obvious push. He's so dangerous and he's such a bad guy.
He's a lone wolf.
he's a lone wolf.
He doesn't respect your rules. He doesn't care about you. But anyways, yeah, it's cool. He's certainly improved, and I know that he's growing on a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't nearly hate him as much. I used to like despise him. He was like one of the 5 people I just hated.
He's really kind of.
But he's grown on me.
You can tell he's worked hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to go back to the live event that we went to go see. We segued to Enzo and Cass into that, and the live event. I'm so glad. I'm a huge mark for him. Yep. Joe and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, because
it's true enough because you said a 4-way tag, but you just meant 4 people.
Yeah,
like a regular tag.
That's
okay.
it.
No, that's right.
Anyways, yeah, that was my fault.
By the way, I do not get how a fatal 4-way tag match works.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Roman obviously gets a huge pop, and it's that classic burst of a cheer.
Yeah, boo.
And then the boos really kind of overwhelm that, but you still got to anyways,
it's like on that opening note, they all start cheering, and everybody's like, "Oh wait, no,
we love this song. Oh, we hate this guy."
Yeah. Well, man, Rollins, he got a huge pop, and I was surprised just how loud of a pop he got, and I was super humble.
For him?
I was so happy for him. Anyways,
do you like his new finisher?
Kenny Omega doesn't.
It looked
doesn't
cool.
appreciate that very much,
It looked cool in person.
Pretty much.
Okada's, yeah.
It looked cool in person, but they haven't been able to like capture it on TV right. Like I think he's done it twice on TV.
I haven't seen it on TV yet, but I'm sure.
Yeah, they did it. He did it.
It'd be
he
funny
did
if
it
you just
Monday.
replaced it with a one-winged angel all of a sudden.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get the
That's
right angle on
Killian
it.
Dane's move though, from Sanity, one of the big guys from Sanity.
Okay,
He does that now.
that's true.
So, but yeah. Anyway, I think we went over everything. We kind of went off the beaten path there and stuff, but we covered everything we want. So this is going to be the new format. Is open discussion like every other week, and then we're gonna do like more recap and analysis.
Yeah, no, I like it. A little free form and no real structure, just kind of talk about what we want.
So if anybody's listening, feel free to give us likes because you haven't done it yet.
Yep.
And share us. Mike, hit us with all the accounts.
We are on Facebook.com/Authority on Wrestling. We are on YouTube.com/Authority on Wrestling, and we are on Twitter.com/AOW Podcast.
That's the one I remember. Yeah. I don't know why. But, so join us next week. We're going to be doing a rundown of Payback, Raw, and SmackDown that week. That one will be a slightly longer episode than this one. This is our shortest ever.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for listening in. We'll see you next week.
Before I have something, maybe during these general discussion weeks and everything, we could take questions from, if you guys have any questions.
Yeah.
We can just throw those in as, so if you guys have any questions, let us know on Facebook or whatever. We can answer any questions. Not that we're big enough to do that, but if
anybody wants to do that. And
or any topics that you want us to discuss.
Yeah, maybe we'll do...
Or you can just send us a poop emoji.
You can do that, too.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah,
send us a shit emoji.
Yeah, but we'd like to Create a banter if you want. Let's go back and forth, and we will debate with the best of them.
Maybe we'll do. We'll record the next one of the general discussions live on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before they get rid of...
Before they get rid of that, yeah. So, but we'll get off of that topic. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Bye.